In the previous video, we covered how to create a grid layout and add columns in it. In this video, we will be focusing on placing grid elements and determining how much space they occupy within the layout. We will explore the following utilities to achieve this: call start, call end, and call span. Call start defines the starting column line for an item, call end defines the ending column line for an item, and call span specifies how many columns the item spans across. Means if we use call span 2 for example, it makes an item occupy the space of two elements, which is helpful for layouts where some items need to be larger, like a feature article in a blog. Now let's see them in a practical example. So here inside the body, I have a grid layout which has 8 child elements. Now for simplicity, I have styled these child elements in the CSS file and I'm just using the class name box. For the parent container, that is the grid layout, I've used the grid class to make it a grid layout, and I specified 6 columns by using the grid call 6 utility. So in order to specify a position of the element, we have to add the utility to the child element. So if you want to make, for example, the third element, that is the C element, if you want it to start in the 4th position, you would write call start 4. So I'll use call start and define the position, that is 4, and save it. Now it is in the 4th position instead of its default position, which is 3. The same way, if you want to end an element at a particular position, then you would use call end. For example, I would use call end 6 for the H element and save it, and it would be in the 5th position. Now you might be wondering why it is in the 5th position instead of in the 6th position, because for call start we mentioned 4 and it is in the 4th position exactly, but for H we used call end 6, but it is not in the 6th position, it is in the 5th position. This is because when we specify call end 6, we are telling that the element H should end at the starting position of the 6th element. So starting position of the 6th element is this, just after H. So it is ending at the 6th position, so it will be in the 5th position. If you are confused, just understand that when you are using call end and if you want some element to be at a certain position, just add one number to it. For example, if you want the H to be at the 4th position, then you would write call end 5. This would keep it in the 4th position. If you want it in the 6th position, then you would write 7 and so on. Now coming to call span, if you want an element to occupy the space of 2, 3, 4 elements, then you would use the call span. For example, I want the B element to occupy the space of 3 elements. So for B, I'll use call span 3 and save it. Now this occupies the space of 3 elements. Now here I want you to understand something. The C element, though there is space here, it came to the bottom. It came to the next line, because we have mentioned that the C element should be in the starting position of 4. But since in the first line now A is occupying 1 position and B is occupying 3 columns, so 4 positions are filled. So there is no space for the C element to start at 4th position. That's why it came to the next line. With the mix of these 3 utilities, you can create a variety of layouts used for different scenarios. That's all in this video. In the next video, we will learn how to define rows in a grid layout.